Yo, what's up guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant and welcome to the channel where today I'm going to be conducting another gaming test between my Samsung Q90R and my LG B8 OLED. Now the console that I'm going to be using for this test today is the PlayStation 4 Pro, and the game we will be testing is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, for anyone out there who is an Xbox owner, don't worry, I also have my Xbox One X here, and I will be testing that out in upcoming videos with both the QLED and the OLED. So check those out at a later date. And yesterday we spoke about me trying to get HDR working between the consoles, between the console and the TV. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work. As you can see there, it does say 4K HDR. I still can't get it to work. Why? I have not got a clue. Whether it's sort of given up doing HDR for whatever reason, I haven't got a clue. But if it really comes to it, I will go out of my way and buy another one and repeat some of these tests. But unfortunately, today will just be in a regular dynamic range. But still, you know, it will give you a good idea of what you can expect from a QLED and an OLED. Just want to say a big warm welcome to all the new subscribers and viewers to the channel. Over the last few days, a lot of you guys have joined the channel, so really appreciate that. And yeah, been very positive in the comment section. A lot of you guys, you know, have been appreciating these videos. And after I gave that bit of a warning about the sort of abuse I've been getting over the last sort of few videos, everyone has been really, really nice and kind. So again, really appreciate that. And, you know, it'd be great if we could keep that up with all these videos going forward. And finally, before we get into the video, I just want to say that one thing that was picked up on by a lot of you guys was the temperature or colour temperature difference between the two TVs, namely the OLED being a lot more bluer. Now, it does have a bit more of a blue tint. This can be ironed out as such, again, with tweaking the settings, but, you know, I want to keep it to the standard settings at the moment. But also, I think part of the problem is my camera is emphasising this, and it does seem to come across a lot worse when playing back the footage than it is in real life. Like I said, I think this is down to my camera, and when I see it back on the screen I'm recording it on, I don't really see that. It's only when I've edited the footage and watched it back myself I can see what you guys are saying. So it isn't quite that bad. It is a little bit blue, but not as bad as it really comes across. Hopefully at a later date I will be getting some better camera equipment, and again, this should sort out that problem. Oh, and just one more thing. A few of you guys asked, what HDMI cables do I use? And I will put a link in the description to my Amazon affiliate page where I will put the cables in there of what I use with my setup. So if you want to go and grab yourself some, they will be there. Right, enough of the chit chat, and I think it's time we crack on with the testing. And we are off with Call of Duty. And just looking at that there, that looked quite a bit different between those two images. Again, the bottom one being the LG OLED and the top being the Q90R. One question was asked yesterday, why is the TV at the bottom bigger than the one at the top? Well, in fact, they are exactly the same size. It is just simply the fact that one is sitting slightly further forward than the other. This isn't trying to be misleading or anything like that. It's just simply, as you can see, I can't actually get it any closer to the TV up the top, the bottom one, because of the way the stand is. So hope that explains that. Right, so we are on the sort of main multiplayer page now, and just pick one of those games, mate, and fire it up. And yeah, again, this is another example, just trying to adjust that exposure there. How, again, it's looking a little bit more bluer on the OLED there, and yeah, probably a little bit more natural looking on the QLED. Again, at the moment, I'll just show you guys for reference. We're going to be starting off on just the standard mode on both of the TVs. My God, my PlayStation sounds like it's about to take off. And oh, sorry, just not that there. And the standard on the QLED, but I will adjust this as we move through the game. So can you notice how dim that has gone up the top on the Samsung? Yeah, it's nice and bright on the QLED. See all that white text bright? I mean, literally, it's almost disappearing. That's quite dramatic. And then on that writing, just as it is dark, now it's evened out again, because that's the sort of thing this QLED does. And at the moment, the sound is coming from the QLED. Again, I will swap that around so you get an idea of the sound differences. Now, because this is a sort of a nice and bright game, I am expecting sort of that big margin that we've seen in the video yesterday. And by the way, anyone who hasn't seen the video that I done yesterday, where we played the other Call of Duty game, World War II, and what else did we play, mate? Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll put a link in the description for that. Yeah, because this is quite a sort of bright game in these parts here, I'm expecting sort of that big gap that there was between sort of the QLED and the OLED, where a lot of you guys agreed that the OLED looked better. I think that margin will narrow somewhat today, but I think you can still see that you've got a bit more contrast, that little sort of bit more depth on the OLED there at the bottom. Do apologise if at points in this video I get it round the wrong way. I said, you know, QLED at the bottom and OLED at the top, when it's not, it's the other way around. So let's just show you some different like viewing angles here, because of like the reflections. You know, for any of you guys who are potentially wanting to buy this TV and are concerned about what the reflections are like on the two, the Samsung, I will admit, does a better job. But I wouldn't say the OLED is absolutely terrible. If you see there, we're on the dark screen. Let's have a quick look at the viewing angles as well. And I am very impressed, I must admit. Like I said yesterday, with the QLED 4, you know, realistically it's just a traditional LCD screen, but the viewing angles are really, really good. But being honest, that the OLED to me has better viewing angles. I'll just go between the two there. And just to point out, for anyone who doesn't follow the channel, that both of these TVs are owned by myself, so I'm not bothered either way which one comes out on top, because, you know, I own both of the TVs, so, you know, I'm not sponsored by anyone to say which one's better either way. And, you know, I've got my son here playing, and, you know, he's given his opinion on what he thinks looks better, and, you know, being a kid and that, he's not bothered either. You know, he gets the use of both of these TVs and he's got no brand loyalty at all. And just furthermore, I just want to point out as well that before having this OLED TV, this LG, I've never owned anything from LG in my entire life. So again, I've got no brand loyalty to LG. If anything, I'm more loyal to Samsung. You know, we've got a Samsung dishwasher, Samsung washing machine. I've had all the Samsung Note phones. My partner's got a Samsung Note phone as well. We got all Samsung TVs around the rest of the house. So, you know, I'm not sort of against Samsung by far. So I'll just leave this sort of playing here for a bit. Let's just move around to some different angles and see how it looks. See, again, when the screen's dimmed there, I don't know if you notice, but the QLED at the top has to drop the levels down on that white text and that, so as not to cause bloom. That's how it sort of gets around it, where the OLED at the bottom doesn't have to pull it in. Can you see it just there? Doesn't have to rein in that brightness on the whites, because, you know, it can adjust the brightness at the pixel level. So what I'm seeing again with my own eyes is on the gun itself there, if I just come in a little bit closer, I'd say this is at the OLED at the bottom. It's a little bit darker. Bit more detail there on the QLED. Now, some people would say, you know, it's sort of a bit of black crush. Again, this may be able to be, well, I'm pretty positive, you know, that can be ironed out on the OLED. And the good thing is, you know, you can raise the black levels a bit on sort of things like that that aren't meant to be solid black, and you can still have those perfect blacks as well. The problem with the QLED is when you try and drop the black levels, you just can't get that perfect black. So, you know, basically the OLED has got adjustment when it comes to sort of black levels a bit, where the QLED is a bit more limited because you can't go as low. So if I just go quickly between the two here, nice and close. So yeah, bit of detail going on that gun there. We're losing it a little bit just here. But I would say the image is that bit richer. And I mean, what would you say, mate? What would you...
The OLED has a bit more like, I don't know how to say it, it's even brighter.
It's a bit bright, you think? Yeah, it does come across as a...
Shine, like,
yeah, like there, yeah, I must admit that it looks brighter on the OLED than on the QLED. And again, it just seems to have this mistiness to the sort of whole image that you can't seem to get away from. Part of this, I think, is literally just the panel itself. I will show you guys at the end. I'll turn both TVs off. And what it is, the OLED is a glossy panel. And the QLED, it's more like a sort of like a monitor. It's, you know, it's a bit misty looking. And, you know, I don't think, you know, that helps. So what I think I'll do now is just adjust the picture settings. So let's start off with the QLED, and we'll set that to game mode. What am I doing? There we go. Let's just turn that to on. Again, these are the factory settings. I'm not going to start messing around with anything in this video. So apologies if you say I should turn something on, off, and sort of to sort of, you know, make it better as such, which I understand you can do that, but just to keep it sort of fair. Oh, hold on, what am I doing there? Let's change that one. Where are we? Game mode. There we go. Yeah, and both game modes are sort of have been factory reset. But yeah, I will sort of adjust both the TVs to your guys, to, you know, so some settings that you guys may sort of suggest. What we'll probably do is in a future video, I'll say whichever bunch of settings gets the most thumbs up, that's what we will go for each TV basically. So again, looking at here, we've got, yeah, just a bit more richness on that OLED. I think what we're going to do is we quit this one and see if we get a different map up. Just don't want to be sticking on the same map for ages, and you know, see if we can see any more differences. So let's fire up another map. So just on the loading screens here for I think it's Piccadilly. We've decided to go offline now, and yeah, well, go on, mate. You see what you're seeing.
Different in the black. So the bottom is like really black, but in the Samsung,
yeah, go on.
it's like grey.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust that right down. Even when I'm adjusting the sort of the levels of the exposure there, it's still a lot greyer up the top. Ooh, I've gone too far there. But yeah, I hope you guys can see that there. Got like blooming coming off sort of this bright white bluish sort of light, shall I say. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on with the game. Right, so here we are with Piccadilly, I think it is, yeah. Yep. And yeah, so we've gone offline now, and yeah, can you see the difference there? It's just trying to adjust that exposure there. There we go. I'd say would you say that's about right? What we're seeing on camera is in real life. A fraction off. So yeah, we are getting like, you know, a bit of sort of black crush, if you want to call it, there on the bottom. But the top one, it's at the other end of the scale. You know, it's gone beyond sort of. Yeah, you know, we've gone beyond the sort of realms of what should be normal there, and it's, you know, sort of blowing out. It's all washed out look. I'll try and adjust this a little bit to make it fair again there. Yeah, and just not looking through the camera and just looking with my own eyes at the two screens. And yeah, it's just so much more rich. That's the only way you can describe it. It is a rich image. I'd love to actually get people around my house, do you know what I mean, complete strangers, to sit them down and look for themselves and just ask them what they think looks best. And I'm positive most would say the OLED at the bottom. Let's move round to another angle here. Just have a look at those reflections again there. It's going a bit tighter as well. Have a hold on, we've died. Right, let's go a bit closer anyway. And I'll just go between the two images there. If my son could stop just dying for 5 minutes. There we go, so we're on the OLED now. Up to the QLED. Back to the OLED. And I'm hoping this is coming across to you guys how I'm seeing it. It's going really close here. So that is the QLED. Back down to the OLED. And it just, to me, it looks, yeah, just crisper and sharper. You know, again, let me know what you think. Once again, any suggestions for games? Now, a few people have informed me about Uncharted 4 coming out, so thanks for that. I did actually already know that, and I will definitely be covering that as soon as that launches, which I think is in a day or two. Might even be out now already, and I will check as soon as this video is finished, and yeah, I'll definitely be covering that game for sure. And also, you guys may have seen that I've done a video with the new Resident Evil 3 demo. Would you like me to rerun that test again with the two TVs? Because last time I just showed it on the OLED, but not with the QLED. So I could always do that again if you want, sort of side by side, or top and bottom. Now, just to explain that I was going to do a couple of games today, but I decided to do the one because I know Call of Duty is a very popular game, so I thought I'd just concentrate on this one game today, and maybe tomorrow I'll do, you know, at least 2 games in the one video, maybe even 3. And again, please let me know, what would you like to see in the next video? Would you like some more PlayStation stuff, or would you like me to move over to doing some stuff on the Xbox? So again, we can see a bit of a colour difference there. The temperature, again, a bit more bluish on the OLED. And again, that is what I'm actually seeing with my eyes, as opposed to what is coming through on the camera. So this is one of our other sofas over here, and sitting here, as you can see, both are doing, you know, a really good job as in angle wise. You could easily sit, you know, around at this sort of angle and play the game, not a problem. Right, well, I think that's pretty much it now, and my son seems to be dying more than actual staying alive here, so we'll wrap it up now, I think. Now, as promised, before I just do the outro, both TVs are now switched off, as you may be able to see because of the red indicator lights on both. And as you can see, it is a glossy finish on the OLED, and on the QLED, it isn't so glossy. It's like a sort of matte sort of sheen on it. Obviously, you know, you can't see my reflection very well in that one. You can more so on the OLED, but then when it comes to actually watching stuff back, that sort of glossiness on the OLED seems to just enhance the image somewhat. There we have it then, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that video today, and if you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more of the same in the future, including some gaming testing with the Xbox One X on the OLED and the QLED, then please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Otherwise, you won't be notified of my latest upload. So, thanks very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.